So everyone, let us start. Everyone, let us start with section number 135. Let us start with the section number 135. First of all, please confirm me. Screen is full, everyone, and voice is clear. सब
Yes,
कुछ
sir.
ठीक है? चलो. Now let us start section number what? 135, which is the complete amendment, and I already made you write this section in a very simplified language. First of all, try to understand what this section is saying. It is going to take another half an hour, 45 minutes, or 1 hour session only on this particular section. Okay, so make sure that you are opening your ears because it is recently amended in the 2021 but got implemented to you in this examination. Clear? Complete
Yes,
CSR, highly important, and it affects your auditing subject also. Now see, what is the section number, Amma? 135, which talks about corporate social
that
responsibility. Now, what do you mean by corporate social responsibility? Now, company law says what? Company law says that if you are a company like Reliance Industries Limited, am I correct, Amma? Now, Reliance Industries Limited today is the biggest, one of the biggest company in the Asia. Am I correct? How it became the biggest company in Asia? Is it because of it itself or because of the society?
society.
We people accepted his brand. We people accepted his sales. We people helped him in growing. That's the reason Reliance is Reliance today. So when society has given you a lot, company law says that it's time for the company to give it back to whom?
Society.
Society. That is called CSR. What is CSR? Corporate
Social
social
responsibility.
responsibility. So as a company, be socially responsible. Am I correct, Amma? So do some donations, do some charities, and do something needful for the society because society has given you a lot. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is what do you mean by
Yes,
corporate social responsibility. Now, what do you mean by corporate social responsibility? Just read one point, Amma. Read the point number one.
it requires corporates to compulsory spend some percentage of the profit on certain areas of social upliftment to discharge their social
See,
responsibilities.
it's very simple. Now try to understand. In today in India, do we have a poverty? Do we have education problem? Do we have employment problem? Do we have so many poor areas, poor people living on India right now? So it is the responsibility of these big companies to come upfront and do they need to help the society to develop or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So they have to make some donations, charities, contributions towards the society, education, upliftment of the society. Am I correct? What is the reason? What are the two reasons for which they should do? For a
For a better
better
society,
society and for a cleaner
clean environment.
environment. For a better society as well as for a cleaner
Cleaner
environment. Am I
environment.
clear, Amma? Yes. Now, this is what do you mean by corporate social responsibility. So, what is corporate social responsibility? It requires compulsory spend somewhat percentage of their profits on certain areas of what? Social
Social
upliftment to discharge
upliftment.
their which responsibilities? Social responsibilities for the better society and for the cleaner
So,
environment. Is it clear, Amma? Yes.
yes, sir.
Now, in 2014 only we had the rules. What are the rules? Company Social Responsibility Policy Rules 2000 what? 14. So in
Okay.
since 2014 only CSR concept is introduced in which law? Company law.
This one.
Under section number 135. But recently it got amended. Now that is the first thing you all have to remember. What is the date of amendment, Amma?
22nd
22nd January
January 22.
2021. So it got amended on 22nd January 2021. But let me tell you one thing, it was made applicable in 2022. After amendment, so many analysis takes place, so many implementation takes place, and so many corrections takes place. Once it is finalized, then only it will be made applicable for everyone. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now listen to this point very carefully. The first rule which we are going to learn, if you are an IFSC public or IFSC private company, again repeating, if you are a which company, Amma? IFSC public or
IFSC.
IFSC private. Do you remember IFSC? We have done that in acceptance of deposits. It is known as International Financial Service Centers. What is that?
National Financial Service Center.
So IFSC stands for International Financial Service Centers. So there are some specified, not all. What is the word written? Specified IFSCs. There are some specified IFSCs. It can be public IFSC or it can be private IFSC. Section number 135 does not apply to them for a period of 5 years from the commencement of their business. It means in the first 5 years, do they have to do any social responsibility donation or they need not? There is no need because that is exempted from CSR. They are exempted from CSR under section 135 for a period of how many years? 5 years from the commencement of what? Business. Is it crystal clear to you all? Yes. Which companies, Amma? All IFSC public and private or specified IFSC public and private? Clear. Yes. Now, which activities are not going to be considered as CSR activities? Are you getting the point? Which activities are not going to be considered as what? CSR activities. If you are doing some activities, if you are doing some activities which is already written in your object clause of MOA, even though it is social or charitable in nature, they are not going to be treated as CSR. Now, let me give you one example. Let's say, for example, Umel, you have a charitable hospital. You have a which hospital? In your object clause, it is written under the Section 8 company. You are a Section 8 company, charitable company. So, in your object clause, it is written 400 operations of the cancer patients free of cost. So, in a year, how many operations of cancer you do it free of cost? 400. Now, listen to this point. Now, tell me, is it something you are doing charity to the society or is it something which is already written in your object clause?
Something written.
So, remember, if you are doing something which is written in the object clause, that is not something you are doing voluntarily. That is something is your duty. Am I correct, Amma? That is your duty. But CSR does not say like this. CSR says that corporate social responsibility is something which you should do voluntarily. Which you should do what? Voluntarily. Not something which is written in the object clause of your MOA. Is it clear, Amma? Now, 400 cancer patients operations which you are doing free of cost, are you doing voluntarily or it is something written in your object clause?
Written in something.
Now, suppose that you also distributed 50 crores worth of COVID vaccinations free of cost to the people who can't afford it. Now, tell me, was that written in your object clause? No. Is this going to be considered as CSR for you?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, something which is written in the object clause, if you are doing that, that is not a CSR. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
But something you are doing beyond your object clause which is written in your MOA, that is called what? CSR. So read the point, Amma. What is written? What is the heading we are doing? CSR activities or non-CSR?
Non-CSR activities.
Means they will not be considered as CSR activities. Clear, everyone? Now,
yes,
read this. Activities undertaken as per its what? Objects of the MOA. If you are taking the activities undertaken as per the objects of your MOA, it will not be treated as what? CSR. But they are saying if you have done R&D, what is R&D, Amma? Research and development for the COVID vaccine, medical services relating to COVID-19 for the financial year 2021, 21-22, 22-23 in collaboration with any recognized institution or organization as per schedule number 7, such CSR activities disclosed separately in the which return? Annual report. It means If you are doing something which is written in your object clause, then it is not a CSR. But if you are doing R&D, Amma, what is R&D? Research and development. For what purpose, Amma? For the new vaccines or for the medical services relating to which problem, which we all are facing nowadays? COVID-19. But for the 3 financial years, it will be allowed. What are the 3 financial years for which it will be allowed? 2021, क्योंकि pandemic situation came in 20, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, March 2020, right? So
Yes, sir.
2021 financial year, 21-22 financial year, and maximum 22-23 financial years tak, that will be treated as which activity? CSR activity. And it has to be disclosed separately in a which return? Annual return. In the annual report, do you remember? In the board report and annual returns, we disclose CSR initiatives taken during the year.
Yes, sir.
There you have to disclose separately. So if you are generally doing anything within your object clause of MOA, that is not a CSR. But if you are doing the R&D relating to COVID-19 thing for the 3 years, it will be allowed. What are the 3 years? 2021, 21-22, 23-24. Now tell me, is it a probable MCQ question in your exam?
Yes, sir.
So for how many years and which years may you will get the exemption of CSR activity? 2021, 21-22, 22-23. But generally allowed other than COVID-19 or generally not allowed?
Generally not allowed.
No, but for the purpose, that is why I written it in bracket. For this purpose, it is allowed. But drugs R&D, drugs means medicine R&D for the new vaccination and medical services relating to COVID-19 for the financial year 2021, 21-22, 22-23 in collaboration with what? Recognized institution or organization as per Schedule 7. Such CSR activities disclosed separately in the which return? Annual report. Now, if you are doing this, this is a CSR, but generally the first one, objects in the MOA, is not a CSR. Is it crystal clear to all of you? Write the word
Yes.
CC if you all understood. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now see. Tell me, Amma, you just simply tell me, are we supposed to do CSR first in India or outside India?
In India.
Tell me, do we have poor people in India as well?
Yes, sir.
So if you are a company doing CSR, what is expected from you? First, you should develop your own country or outside country. If you are an Indian company, what you will do? First, you will develop your own country or outside India? Own country. So they are saying that any activity done outside India, that is training to Indian sports personnel, state wise or union territory wise at national and international level, that will also be not treated as what? CSR. Is it clear, Amma?
Own country.
Yeah. So read the whole sentence. Any activity which is done in India or outside India? Outside India. What? Training of Indian sports personnel of state level or UT level at national and international level. That is not going to be treated as a CSR. So what is the heading we are doing? Non-CSR activity. Did you all understand? Yes or no? Yes, Amma? Okay. Now everyone please reply. If I'm audible, please let me know if I'm audible. Am I audible? Yes or no? Is there any problem? Yeah. Okay. Amma, point number 1 and point number 2 added. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Point number 3, Amma. If you are doing any contribution directly or indirectly to the which parties, Amma? Political parties. That is also not going to be treated as CSR activity. So we are doing first exemptions, which are not CSR activities. So point number 1, if you're doing something from your object clause of MOA, is it CSR or not a CSR? If you are giving training to the Indian sports personnel outside India, is it a CSR or not a CSR? If you are giving directly or indirectly contribution to any political party, is it a CSR or not a CSR? Acha, tell me one thing, Umel, you will open a company. Suppose you have one company. If you are doing And suppose you have opened a free college and free university where the employees of your company's children, their kids, can get the free education. Is it a CSR? Why?
Depends on the amount.
No, no, no. You are not having anything written in your object. You are simply opening a college where your employees, directors, children, they can take free education right from the nursery till MBA. No
Then
charges.
it's
Is it a CSR? No, it is not a CSR, Amma. Try to understand. Doing the welfare of your employees is your duty. It is not something which is CSR. Am I correct? Doing something for the benefit of your employees and their family members is your duty. Am I correct? So if you are doing that, that is not a CSR. But tell me, if I will ask you this question, if you have opened any college or university for the people across India to take the free education there, not only your employees, your non-employees children also. Now tell me, it is CSR? Yes, because you are doing it only for your employees or for everyone. Yes. Clear Amma, fourth point as well. Now, what is the fifth point? Acha, tell me one thing, Amma. Suppose any marathon is going on. Marathon, prize distribution, sponsoring. Now tell me, if I'll sponsor anybody, will I be putting my posters here and there or not? It means indirectly, am I advertising my business? Is that a CSR? No, it is not a CSR. So did you understand fifth point, Amma? Read it.
sponsoring marathons, prize distributions for self-marketing purpose.
Is not a CSR. Next point. Any amount you incurred where, Amma?
Outside India.
First, develop your own country. After that, only you should incur the amount outside India. So it is a CSR or not a CSR?
Let's see, sir.
And next one, any other obligation under any other law, if you'll do, that is not going to be called as what? CSR. So what we have learned just now, we have just now learned which activities? Non-CSR activities. Which one we have learned? Non-CSR activities. Is it clear to all of you? Yes? Now,
Sir.
what do you mean by some of the definitions you have to understand? What do you mean by CSR committee? Now listen to this. Every company on whom CSR section is applicable, they have to form one committee. What is the name of that committee, Amma? CSR committee.
CSR
What is the
committee.
name of the committee? CSR
CSR
committee.
committee.
So that committee will make a CSR policy where to do the donation, where not to do the donations. They will take the decision. Am I correct? That committee will give the CSR policy to the board of directors. So they will give the instructions to the board of directors. Okay, this is the place where you have to do the donations and charities. Am I correct, Amma?
Yes,
That
sir.
committee is known as which committee?
CSR
CSR
committee.
committee. Now, what do you mean by CSR policy? It is the approach or direction by the board taking into account the recommendations of which committee? CSR
CSR
committee. Now,
committee.
where to spend, where not to spend, how much to spend, why to spend, why not to spend, everything will be written in which policy?
CSR
CSR policy.
policy.
Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Yes. Just give me 1 minute. So, this is what the like various definitions you have to learn in the CSR. Clear, Amma? Now, what do you mean by administration overheads? Now, tell me, Amma, while doing the CSR activity, while doing crores and crores of expenditure on the CSR, do we have to incur so many administration overheads or not? So
Yes,
many
sir.
expenditures? Yes, that is what do you mean by administration overhead. Now, what is this meaning, Amma? What is the meaning? What is the fourth definition you have to learn? Ongoing
On
project. What is the name? Ongoing project.
ongoing.
Ongoing project is a multi-year project undertaken by the company for CSR fulfillment, not exceeding how many years? 3 years,
3 years.
excluding the year of what? Commencement.
Commence.
Say, for
Yes.
example, I took a project that I want to build a big university. So, do you think that university can be built in 1 year? Or it will
No,
take
sir.
2 to 3 years? 2 to 3 years.
Two
So,
to
tell me
three
one
years.
thing. Is it a small project or huge project? Is
Huge
it is
project.
it 1 year project or multi-year project? Multi-year project. Am I
Both.
correct? So it is a, what do you mean by
Yes.
ongoing project? Ongoing project is a multi-year project undertaken by the company for what? CSR fulfillment, not exceeding how many years? 3 years,
3 years.
excluding the year of what? Commencement. Excluding
Commencement.
the year of commencement. It means the year in which you are starting, that year will be taken or will not be taken? Will
Will
not be
not be
taken.
taken.
Plus, such projects that was initially not approved as a multi-year project, but duration got extended beyond what? 1 year. Say, for
1 year.
example, there was one project which I thought that it will be completed in 9 months. Am I correct? Now, is it less than 1 year?
Yes, sir.
But later on, that project now increasing. First, I thought that I'll make a school. Then I thought of making a college. Then I thought of making a university. Then I thought of making a hostel. Now tell me, project is increasing one by one. So now, is it possible to complete that in 1 year or got extended beyond 1 year?
Got extended
So it
beyond
is
1 year.
also going to be treated as a which project, Amma? Ongoing.
Ongoing
So
project.
generally, an ongoing project is the one which is a multi-year project, not extended the period of what? 3 years. Plus those kind of events which were earlier not approved as a multi-year project, but later on their extension got beyond what? 1 year. All these projects are known as what? Ongoing projects. Is it clear, Ma? Yes. Now, which companies have to create the CSR committee? Which companies have to create the CSR committees? Those companies who are having net worth of 500 crores or more, right? Turnover is 1000 crores or more, or
Yes,
net
sir.
profit is what? 5 crores
5
or more.
crore.
So either your net worth is 500 crores or more, turnover is 1000 crores or more, or net profit is greater than equals to 5 crores, you must constitute a which committee? CSR
CSR.
committee with 3 or more directors and at least one ID. What is ID? Independent director. What is ID stands for?
Independent director.
So how many people are required in the CSR committee, Amma? 3 or more directors. With one ID means what? One independent director. Is it clear, Amma? Yes. Now, those companies where there is no need of appointing independent director, they can constitute the committee with 2 or more directors also. Is it clear? So if your company has to appoint an independent director, then go with 3 or more people. But those companies who need not require to appoint a which director? Independent director, they can go with this committee for how many members? Two
Two
or more
or
members.
more directors.
Clear, Amma? Yes or no? So tell me, which
Sir.
companies must have the CSR committee? Either their net worth 500 crores or more, turnover 1000 crores or more, net profit 5 crores or more. Must constitute a CSR committee with 3 or more persons. But in case the company need not require to appoint a independent director, then in that case they can go with what? 2 or more.
Two
Otherwise, if you have to appoint an independent director, out of your 3 or more members, at least one should be independent director. Is it clear, Amma? Yes. Now the question is, sir, what do you mean by net worth? How will calculate the net worth? What is the formula of net worth, Amma? Paid up share capital plus all reserves plus securities premium plus P&L credit balance. Right, Amma? Paid up share capital plus all reserves plus securities premium plus P&L credit balance minus accumulated losses minus deferred revenue, deferred expenditure, and minus miscellaneous expenditure not written off. So four things to be added and three things to be reduced. What are the four things to be added, Amma? Paid up,
paid up
all
capital,
reserves,
all reserves,
securities premium, P&L credit,
PL
minus accumulated losses, deferred expenditures, and miscellaneous expenditures not written off. And in the reserves, revaluation reserves and write back of depreciation and amalgamation is to be excluded. So which two things you don't have to consider in the reserves? Revaluation reserve and write back of the depreciation and amalgamation. Is it clear, Amma?
Yes, sir.
This is the definition of net worth. Now, listen. What are the three conditions? What are the either of the three conditions I have to satisfy? Net worth 500 crores or more, turnover, what do you say, 1000 crores or more, and net profit what? 5 crores or more. Am I correct, Amma? Now read this point very carefully, which I have underlined. What is written? A company whose
In
net worth, net profit,
net
or turnover conditions does not satisfy for continuously how many years?
consecutive three financial
Three
years.
financial years. Suppose my net worth is not 500 crores or more. Turnover is not 1000 crores or more. Net profit is not 5 crores or more. They are less than that for continuously how many years?
Three
3
financial
years.
years.
Then in that case, I need not constitute a CSR committee. I will put my CSR committee on hold and I need not spend CSR expenditures. I need not spend even a single rupee for CSR expenditure. Till what time, Amma? Till the time it shall not get covered again under section number.
135.
Now listen, pandemic situation is going on. Listen, neither my net worth is 400 crores. Turnover is 900 crores. Net profit is 3 crores. Now tell me, any of the condition matched?
No, sir.
So 3 years happened like this. Continuously, how many years?
Three consecutive financial
Yes.
years.
Then in that case, fourth year onwards, I do not have to make any CSR committee. I do not have to spend because am I having enough profits to do the CSR or not enough profits?
Not enough.
So do you think that I'll be able to do the donation or first I should think about my company?
First, think about the
So I
company.
will not be doing any CSR committee. I will not be spending any CSR expenditure until and unless I do not get covered again. Are you getting the point? What do you
Yes,
mean
sir.
by until and unless I do not get covered again? Until and unless any of the three conditions are not satisfied, till that time I will get the exemption. Is it clear, Amma? If you are a private company, how many directors should be there in your CSR committee? Two.
Do this.
If you are a foreign company, how many directors should be there in your CSR committee again? Two.
At least do this.
Two. Right or not? One will be nominated by the which company? Foreign
Foreign
company.
company.
And one under section number 380 who receives the communication on the behalf of what? Foreign company.
Foreign.
So tell me, everyone, very important point. When the CSR committee is must, either net worth 500 crores or more, turnover 1000 crores or more, or net profit 5 crores or more, I must constitute a CSR committee with 3 or more members, but with one independent director. But if my company does not need any independent director, do not require to appoint it, then I can start my company with the members in the CSR committee. Am I correct? If I'm a private company
Yes.
CSR, then two directors. If I'm a foreign company CSR, at least two director. One director is nominated by the foreign company, and one director is that director who under section 380 receives the communication on the behalf of the company. Under what circumstances I can shut down my CSR committee if neither turnover, not net worth, not net profit condition is satisfied for continuously 3 years? I have to shut down my CSR committee. I need not do any kind of CSR expenditure. Till what time, Amma? Till the time I'm not able to satisfy any of the condition again. Am I correct? Yes. Now, what is the duty of the CSR committee? What is the duty of the CSR committee? CSR committee, Amma, read this duty very carefully. CSR committee does what? Formulate CSR policy and recommendations to whom?
Board.
Board. Who makes the CSR policy? Where to spend, what to spend, how to spend, how much to spend? Committee will take that. That is called which policy, Amma? CSR
CS.
policy. And it will be recommending that to whom? Board
Board.
of directors. Next point. Recommend the amount of which expenditure? See,
CSR
how much
expenditure.
money we have to spend, that also CSR committee will decide. Monitor, keeping an eye on the which policy?
CSR policy.
And formulate annual action plan. Which plan, Amma? Annual action plan. What do you mean by annual action plan? List of those CSR projects which are approved in the annual plan, manner of execution in the annual plan, utilization of funds in the annual plan, monitoring and reporting mechanism in the annual plan, details of need and impact assessment. Is it clear, Amma? All these are the duties of which committee? CSR committee.
CSR.
So who formulates, who recommends to board? CSR committee. Who tells how much expenditure to be spent? CSR committee.
CS.
Who monitors the CSR policy? CSR committee.
CS.
Who makes the annual action plan? CSR committee. How many projects are approved? What is the manner of execution? What is the utilization of the funds? Right? What is the monitoring and reporting mechanism? And what is the detail of need and impact assessment? All that will be formulated also by whom? CSR
CSR
committee.
committee.
Is it clear, Amma?
Yes,
But
sir.
if the board of directors think that whatever the CSR committee is saying is not possible, can the board of directors make some alterations or modifications in the plan of CSR committee? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but with some proper justification. Read this point, Amma. What is written? Provided
So,
board may
board
alter the plan of which committee?
CSR committee
Generally, board does not have this power, but board may alter the plan of CSR committee on which justification?
proper
Proper
justification.
justification. If the board can make the CSR committee understand if what you are asking is not possible, let us do some changes in the plan, then CSR committee will listen or will not listen? Will listen to the board.
You,
Am I correct, Amma?
yes,
Now,
sir.
just now we have done the duties of whom? CSR committee. Now we are going to do the duties of whom? Board
Board.
of directors. Now, who formulates the policy? CSR committee. But who will execute the policy? Board
Board.
of directors. To take care of the recommendations of the CSR committee and approve CSR policy and disclose in the which report? Board report. Ensure to undertake what? Activities. Now, whatever the CSR committee has suggested to do this and that, who has to do that actually? Board of directors. Next one. Display of CSR activities on what? Website of the
Website.
company. It means it is a board of directors' responsibility to display on their website ki which CSR activities we are doing. What is the composition of our CSR committee? What is our CSR policy? And which projects are approved by the board and the CSR committee? For whose access, Sama? Public access.
Public.
So that people can see if this company is doing CSR activity properly or not. By visiting their what? By visiting their website. But who has to update all these things on the website, Amma?
Board.
Board of directors. So who will execute the transactions? Board of directors. Who will spend the money? Board of directors. Who will approve the projects and CSR policy, everything? Board of directors. But on the recommendations of which committee? CSR committee. Who has to update the website? Yes, website पे क्या क्या update करना है? Composition of the CSR committee, CSR policy, projects approved by the board for the whose access? Public access. Is it clear, ma? Now, how much amount of CSR you have to spend? Every year, 2% of average of last 3 years profit. Are you getting the point, Amma? Every year, at least 2% of last 3 years का profit. 2% of last 3 years ka average profit. Did you get the point, Amma? Last year my profit was 16 crores. Up to before that last year it was 20 crores. Before that last year it was 24 crores. What is the total average, Amma? 60 crores. 60 crores divided by 3 comes to 20 crores is the average, Amma. On that 20 crores, what is the 2%? 4 crores. What is the 2% of 20 crores? No, sorry, 40 lakhs. How much I have to spend the CSR now? 40 lakhs. Is it clear, Amma? So at least 2% on average profits of last 3 financial years. But let's say, for example, my company got incorporated in the year 2020. Which year my company got incorporated?
2020.
Now tell me, it is 2022 right now?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, 3 years are completed or not yet completed?
Not yet completed.
Then take 2 years average. Suppose 1 year back, then take 1 year profit. Are you understanding the point? If you have completed 3 years, then you have to take the average of last 3 years. But if you are less than 3 years, take those many years ka average. Suppose 2 years I have completed, take 2 years ka average. 1 year I have completed. Suppose last year ka profit and this year is my second year. Last year ka profit ka 2%. Am I correct, Amma?
Sir, initially you told us the company which has completed 5 years, then only they enter into the CSR.
No, Amma, that is IFSC private or public company to whom the CSR is not applicable. When did I tell you that 5 years completed, then only CSR activity applicable? IFSC company ka point we have done. If you are a IFSC public and private company, which company? Did I tell you IFSC or not? We are not talking about IFSC. We are talking about the normal company. IFSC, public and private company, for them CSR is not applicable for the first what? 5 years. That is IFSC, public and private company, International Financial Service. We are not talking about that. We are talking about other than IFSC company. Am I clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now tell me, if you are not completed the 3 years, then in that case, can we take the average of last 2 years or can we take the last year profit? Yes. Now, where the preference to be given to spend your CSR amount, preference shall be given to the which areas? Local areas
Local
around it where it what? Operates. Clear, Amma? Yes. Now, very, very important point. Very, very important point. Listen to this. If you have overspent the CSR expenditure, what do you mean by overspent? 2% was coming to 40 lakhs. Am I correct? You spent 1 crore. How much overspent you covered? 60 lakhs extra. You can take the set off advantage. Which advantage, Amma? Set off advantage in the succeeding how many years? 3 years. So 20 lakhs next year you have to spend less. Next to next year 20 lakhs less. Next to next year 20 lakhs less. Am I correct, Amma? For the next 3 years, you can take the advantage of reduction in your CSR expense. If you have overspent, am I correct, Amma? Obviously, I spent 60 lakhs extra. So next year my total liability is 30 lakhs. So tell me how much I will spend. I will reduce 20 lakhs. Am I correct? So how much I will spend only?
10 lakhs.
Now next to next year my liability is 45 lakhs. Again I'll reduce 20 lakhs. How much I'll spend only?
25.
So did you get the point? For the next 3 years you can take that advantage. Now 20 years next year, next to next year 20 lakhs, next to next year 20 lakhs. Am I taking advantage of 3 years of 20 lakhs or not?
Yes, sir.
So 3 years ka 20 lakhs makes it to 60 lakhs only. That much only I overspent. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
But what is return? What is return? If it is underspent. If it is what?
Underspent.
Now overspent ka to we understood. But if it is underspent, what to do? What the board will do? Read this point. Board
Board
shall specify the reasons. First of all, the board has to give the reason why it is what? Underspent.
underspent.
And transfer the unspent amount to the fund specified under Schedule 7. Under the Schedule 7, there is one fund called CSR fund. What is the name of the fund, Amma?
CSR fund.
Suppose I was supposed to spend 5 crore rupees. I spent only 4 crore rupees. How much is underspent?
1 crore.
This 1 crore I have to transfer to a specified fund under Schedule number 7. Within a period of 6 months from the end of what? Financial year. When? If it is a ongoing project. If it is a which project, Amma?
Ongoing project.
If it is not an ongoing project. Sorry, I said ongoing project or what? Yeah, if it is not ongoing project. Kyunki, now see, if it is not ongoing project means what? Say for example, you thought 6 crores to be spent in this year. How many crores? 6 crores. You spent only 4 crores. Your project is completed in what? 4 crores only. How much is underspent? You are liable to spend 6 crores. You thought that 6 crores it will take for completion of a project. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Project got completed in how many crores? 4
crore.
crores. How much is extra?
2 crores.
Now, do you think that you will take it back to your profits? No. Your obligation is at least 2%. Am I correct or not? So this 2 crore rupees which is required to be spent but actually not spent, you are going to transfer it to one fund that is called CSR fund created under Schedule 7 within a period of what? 6 months from the end of the financial year. It means we are going to give this fund to the government. Are you getting the point? From your pocket, 6 crores only going, Amma. 4 crores you have spent already in a project. You overestimated the cost of the project to be 6 crores. But how much it is actually costed you?
4 crores.
How much is underspent? 2
2
crores.
crores.
This 2 crore, you can't take it back to your profits. You have to transfer it to whom?
Schedule 7.
Schedule 7 CSR fund within a period of 6
End of
months. Within a period of 6 months from the end of what?
financial
Financial
year.
year. It means that CSR fund, who operates? Government operates. Who operates?
Government.
Acha, think logically, Amma. If it is an ongoing project, do you give it to government or you will spend it next year?
If next
If it is ongoing project, you can spend it next year or not. That is why it is written what? If it is not a
ongoing
ongoing,
project.
if it is ongoing project, then you will not transfer to CSR fund 2 crores. You will keep it with you only, and you will
Yes, sir.
open one account called unspent CSR account. What is the name of the account?
Yes, sir.
And you will transfer there, because that money you can utilize next year. Am I correct? But if it is a not ongoing project, you have to transfer it to CSR fund, which is created under Schedule 7. Is it clear, Amma? Now, very, very important points. Now it is coming. Listen to this. If it is ongoing project, if it is a which project,
Ongoing.
and now it is unspent in that case. Now it is a what? Then transfer the unspent amount to a separate bank account called what?
Since these are
Within
30 days
from the end of what?
financial year.
Now you know the answer. If it is a not ongoing project, you have to give it to the government under CSR fund under Schedule 7 within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
But if it is an ongoing project, are you going to utilize it next year? So don't transfer it to government. Keep it with you, but not in your bank account. You have to open a separate bank account. What is the name of that bank account?
Then CSR account.
And you have to transfer it within 6 months or 30 days now.
30 days from the end
Now
of financial
listen,
year.
and to be spent in the succeeding how many years?
3 years.
Right or not? Achha, suppose
Yes,
you
sir.
did not spend it in the next 3 years. You did not spend it in the next 3 years. Ongoing project ka maximum duration is how many years, Amma?
3 years.
So you did not spend it in 3 years. Then in that case, what you have to do? You have to transfer to where? Fund. Now it is government's money. Am I correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Then within 30 days of the end of the third year, you have to transfer it to the fund.
CSR fund
So
schedule.
all try to process it. If it is not ongoing project, you directly going to transfer it toward government
Fund.
under the CSR fund under Schedule 7 within how many months? 6 months from the end of the financial year. Is it crystal clear to all? But if it is an ongoing project, you are going to transfer it to unspent CSR account within 30 days, which you are going to spend it in the next 3 years.
Financial.
But in the 3 financial year, you are unable to spend it. Now again, you have to transfer it to whom?
CSR fund under 7 to government.
Perfectly understood.
Yes, sir.
So when to the fund and when to the account? If it is not ongoing project, to the fund. But if it is ongoing project, to the account. Am I correct, Amma? Now, look at some extra points. What are the extra points? Do you remember administration overheads I told you? Now,
Yes,
to
sir.
spend a lot of money of CSR, do you need some chiller kharchas, spending some expenses and all? Those administration expenditures shall not be more than 5% of the total CSR expenditure. Now, suppose my total CSR expenditure is 10 crores. What is my total CSR expenditure?
10 crore.
Into 5%. 10 crores ka 5% how much? 10 crores ka 5% how much? Is it 50 lakhs?
Yes, sir.
Crores ka 5%. Yeah, 50 lakhs. Now 50 lakhs, it should not be more than what? 50 lakhs. Am I correct, Amma? The administration expenditures on the CSR activities shall not be more than 5% of the total CSR expenditure. Is it clear, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, say next point, any surplus, if you have any surplus, that shall be transferred back to the profits or not allowed to transfer back to the profits.
Allowed to transfer to
Either it should be transferred to unspent CSR account or it should be transferred to CSR fund. Am I correct or not?
yes, sir.
If it is ongoing project, where you will transfer?
unspent CSR
Very
account.
nice. Within 30 days from the end of the financial year. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
But if it is a ongoing and not an ongoing project, then you will transfer to
CSR fund
fund.
and the schedules of
But you cannot transfer it back to your
profits.
profits. Is it clear, Amma?
Sir.
So this is what point number three. Now see the point number three. CSR amount can be spent for the acquisition of capital assets which shall be held by. Now suppose you are spending a CSR amount for a very huge asset, which is going to spend a lot of time, which is going to incur a lot of expenditure to buy that asset, but that is going to be used for the society. Then in that case, you are not allowed to keep the assets. The asset will be held by whom? Section 8
Sir.
company or registered trust or a registered society with the CSR registration
CSR.
number. Did you get the point? So
Yes, sir.
I spent 10 crore rupees to buy one plant and machinery under what? CSR activity. Am I correct, Amma? So is
Yes,
it
sir.
my plant and machinery or for the society?
For the society.
You can't keep it. You have to transfer it to Section 8 company or registered trust or registered society with the CSR registration number, or you have to give it to the CSR beneficiaries, or you have to transfer it to the public authority. Am I correct, Amma?
Yes, sir.
But if you have already bought any plant and machinery or capital asset before the commencement of these rules, then you have to do the same thing within 180 days plus maximum 90 days extra. So total 270 days mein you have to transfer them. Now listen to this point, Amma, carefully. What is the date when these rules came? Do you remember the date? 22nd July, June, oh sorry, 22nd Jan
2021.
2021. Am I correct? Now,
Yes, sir.
22nd Jan is this date. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
If you buy after 22nd Jan, then directly you have to give it to either Section 8 company or CSR beneficiaries or what do you say, public authority. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
But you bought it before 22nd January, then these rules were in existence or not in existence?
Not in
At
existence.
that point of time, within 180 days from the commencement of this rule. How many days, Amma?
180 days.
Plus additional 90 days extra if you have a reason. So maximum 270 days may you have to transfer it to them. So after this date of commencement rules, you have to directly transfer it to the Section 8 company. But you already acquired the capital asset, but now you want to transfer, you have only how many days? 270 days. And
270.
these 270 days will start from commencement of these rules. Am I correct, Amma? Yes, that is what is written here. Read it, Amma. Note, read it.
Any capital assets before these rules commencement shall within 180 days plus maximum 90 days extension shall comply with these rules.
So it means 180 plus 90 makes it to what?
270
270
days.
days. You have to do the same thing, but this is the asset you acquired before. Am I correct, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the next point, Amma? Penalty in case of section number 120,
135 violation.
135 ka violation. Now, read the penalty on the company. 2 times the amount to be transferred to fund or unspent CSR account. Now, do you have to spend, do you have to transfer the unspent amount to the unspent CSR account or CSR fund or not? Depending upon
Yes, sir.
ongoing project or non-ongoing project, right? So 2 times of that amount or 1 crore, whichever is less. Suppose you did not transfer in 6 months. Are you getting the point? And you did not transfer in 30 days. Am I correct, Amma?
Yes,
So
sir.
how much penalty you will be paying? 2 times of that amount which you are supposed to transfer or 1 crore rupees, whichever is
Less.
less. And officer in default will be liable to a penalty 1/10 of the amount to be transferred or 2 lakhs, whichever is less. So
Lower.
company got 2 times of the amount to be transferred but not transferred or 1 crore, whichever is less. And officer in default got 1/10 of the amount to be transferred but not transferred or 2 lakhs, whichever is less. Is it clear, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Now they are saying that they made one special rule. What is the special rule, Amma? Look at this. Where the amount to be spent in the CSR activity, read this rule, where the amount to be spent under the CSR expenditure is not more than,
50 lakhs.
then they say that don't make any CSR committee, only board of directors can take care of everything. Unnecessarily for 50 lakh rupees of expenditure, why you are creating a CSR committee? Did you understand the concept? Where the amount to be spent under the CSR expenditure is not more than 50
50 lakhs.
lakhs, then board of directors can handle the CSR activity. Is it clear to all of you?
Sir.
Yes. So no CSR committee is required. Is it clear, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Now, what they are saying, these are the extra rules of CSR, right? Okay, remaining we are going to understand in the tomorrow session, everyone. Okay, so just 3-4 rules are left that I will take up in the tomorrow session. Is it clear, Amma? Because
Yes,
already the
sir.
thing is over. The next class is due. Hello. See you guys tomorrow, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.